Now, when it comes to the OVO building in Toronto, and when it comes to the storm that has been quietly forming inside of it for the last 72 hours, well, if you have been paying any kind of attention at all, not the curated Twitter noise, not the press releases that the Drake camp likes to pretend are organic, and not the wave of suspiciously fresh accounts that keep flooding the timeline trying to convince you that he is somehow still winning, then you already know that something inside that camp is not right. Something inside that organization is bleeding out in real time. And tonight, for the first time on this channel, we are going to put a name on the wound. Before we go a single sentence further, be sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn the notification bell on, because the next 20 minutes are genuinely going to change the way you look at the OVO empire forever. And if you think a coordinated leak coming out of his own studio is more interesting than another round of recycled ICEMAN teasers, go ahead and smash that like button so the algorithm pushes this video to every single hip-hop fan that needs to hear it. Now, with that said, let's actually get into it, because what we are looking at here is not a leak in the traditional sense. It is not a coincidence. It is not some disgruntled intern venting on Reddit at 4 o'clock in the morning after losing his keycard. What we are looking at is a coordinated, sustained, and surgically clean flow of inside OVO information that has been quietly landing in PG Lang's lap for weeks. And the people closest to him have finally connected enough dots to figure out exactly who has been doing it. Or at the very least, they have narrowed the suspect pool down to a list small enough to count on one hand. Here is what we know for sure, and I want to walk you through this carefully, because the details actually matter. Roughly 3 weeks ago, a track that was sitting on an OVO hard drive, a track that, according to multiple people who actually have access to the studio rotation in Toronto, had been recorded fewer than 48 hours earlier, somehow ended up being referenced by content posted on a PG Lang adjacent burner account. Not the title, not the working file name, the actual lyrical content. A specific bar that he had not even performed for his own engineers yet. A bar that, according to 2 different sources who have been around that creative room, had only been heard by maybe 4 or 5 human beings on the planet. Now, I already know exactly what the OVO loyalists in the comments section are going to say. They're going to say that it was a guess. They're going to say that Kendrick's analyst just got lucky. They're going to say it was a coincidence. They're going to say the bar was generic enough that anyone could have stumbled into it. And listen, if it was 1 bar in isolation, maybe I would even let you have that. If it was 2 bars, I would call it suspicious and I would move on. But what actually happened over the course of a 14-day window is that 3 separate lyrical references lifted from 3 separate unreleased Drake tracks surfaced on accounts that orbit Kendrick. 3 different songs, 3 different sessions, 3 different studios, the same window. The statistical probability of that being a coincidence is mathematically somewhere south of winning a state lottery twice in the same calendar year. Somebody inside that building is walking material out the door. Period. End of discussion. So now we have to talk about who that person could actually be, because the OVO inner circle is nowhere near as massive as the average fan thinks it is. People hear the name OVO and they picture a 100-person operation, an army of producers and assistants and ghostwriters and runners. It is not that. It has never been that. The actual creative core, the people who hear Drake's demos before those demos ever touch the cloud, the people who sit in on the writing sessions, the people who handle the file transfers between Drake's engineers and the mixing rooms, that group, by every credible estimate that has ever been put on record, is fewer than 15 people. 15. That is your entire suspect pool. That is it. And out of those 15, the math gets tied to the moment you ask the only question that actually matters in any leak investigation, which is who in that room has both the access and the motive at the same time. Because access without motive does not leak, and motive without access cannot leak. You need the 2 of them stacked on top of each other in the same human being. And the moment you start running that filter through the OVO roster, the list collapses down to a number you really can count on one hand. I'm not going to put names on camera tonight, and I want to be very clear about why I'm not doing that. It is not because Kendrick's analysts have not already figured it out, and it is not because I do not have them. It is because the person who has been quietly building this case has specifically asked that those names be held back until the right moment. And I respect the work that is being done on the other side of that conversation. But I will tell you this much. The person in question has been inside the OVO building for more than 5 years. The person in question was passed over for a promotion that they were privately promised back in the spring of last year, and the way that promotion was pulled, from what I have been told, was not handled with anything close to grace. And the person in question has been spotted on multiple independently verified occasions in the same city as a known PG Lang affiliate within hours of every fresh leak surfacing. Same city, same window, same timestamps. That is not a coincidence. That is a pattern. And in this industry, patterns are how moles get caught every single time. Now, here's where the story stops being about one disgruntled employee and starts being about something much darker, because the PG Lang side of this equation has been operating with a level of operational discipline that should genuinely terrify Drake's camp. Whoever has been receiving this information on the Kendrick side is not making the rookie mistake of immediately reacting to it. Kendrick's circle is not subtweeting. They are not posting cryptic emojis the second a fresh leak lands in their inbox. They are not doing victory laps on Instagram. They are doing something far more dangerous than that. They are cataloging it. They are timestamping every drop. They are building, brick by brick, an intelligence file on Drake's entire creative process. And they are going to deploy that file at the exact moment of maximum cultural damage. Not before, not after, at the moment of maximum damage. And if you think for 1 second that I am overselling the strategic discipline of the Kendrick Lamar operation here, let me remind you of something. This is the same Kendrick operation that sat on Not Like Us for weeks while Drake was burning energy on 6 different diss tracks, swinging at shadows, recording responses to things Kendrick had not even released yet. This is the same operation that turned a Super Bowl halftime show into a coordinated cultural execution that the genre is still recovering from a full year later. This is the same operation that for the last 18 months has never once moved on emotion. They move on intelligence. They move on timing. They move on a war doctrine that the average rap fan does not even know exists. And right now, the intelligence they are feeding off is coming straight out of Drake's own house. The OVO response to all of this has been, to put it as generously as I possibly can, chaotic. Multiple sources have indicated that the entire creative team had their phones audited last week. Not metaphorically, not figuratively, actually audited by an actual outside forensic firm with actual recovery of deleted messages, deleted drafts, deleted voice notes, the whole package. That is not a normal Tuesday at OVO. That is panic tier counterintelligence work, and it tells you everything you need to know about how seriously Drake and the people around him are taking what is unfolding right now. People do not bring in forensic specialists because of a hunch. People bring in forensic specialists because they already know. The reason this matters, the reason this is not just inside baseball industry gossip that you should scroll past, is because the entire ICEMAN rollout, the entire Scary Hours 4 contingency plan, the entire surprise release calendar that OVO has been quietly building for the back half of this year, all of it, every single piece of it, depends on the element of surprise. If Kendrick Lamar's team already knows what Drake is planning to release, when he is planning to release it, and what the lyrical content of those releases is going to be, then every single rollout move on the OVO calendar is being pre-counted before any of it ever ships. That is not a music industry beef anymore. That is intelligence warfare, and the Toronto rapper is losing it badly. Now, I want you to step back with me for a second and look at the macro picture, because the mole story, as wild as the mole story is not actually the story. The mole story is a symptom of the real story. The real story is that the OVO empire, the same operation that has held the commercial throne of mainstream rap for over a decade, the same operation that defined the streaming era, has lost the internal loyalty of its own building. The people inside that organization no longer believe that they are winning. The people inside that organization no longer believe that their boss is the smartest man in the room. They no longer believe he is 2 steps ahead. They no longer believe he has the master plan. And once that perception cracks, the whole dam goes with it. It does not matter how many billboards you buy. It does not matter how many curated press leaks you plant in your favorite outlets. It does not matter how many international tour dates you announce with fireworks. When the people who pick up Drake's calls at 2 o'clock in the morning start quietly forwarding his demos to Kendrick's camp, the empire is already over. They just have not announced the funeral yet. And honestly, when you really look at the patterns here, when you really sit with the full timeline, it has been over for longer than the public has been allowed to admit. But let me come back to the mole, because there is one more layer of this that I don't think anybody has talked about on camera yet. And it is the layer that genuinely makes me think this story is going to detonate within the next month. The person who is leaking is not a one-time leaker. This is not a moment to frustration. This is not a one-off. The cadence of the drops, the precision of the material that gets selected, the way the leaked content keeps mapping onto the most strategically vulnerable upcoming releases, all of it points to somebody who has been doing this for at least 6 months, maybe longer. And every single week the leak window stays open. The value of the intelligence file PG Lang is building, grows exponentially. You have to understand what that means in practical terms. If the mole has been active for 6 months, then everything Drake recorded over the back half of last year, everything he has been telling his inner circle is going to be his big comeback. Everything he has been quietly promising the label is going to reset his commercial dominance. The Kendrick Lamar camp has already heard it. They have already studied it. They have already prepared counter-content for it. Every bar he ever recorded has already been autopsied by Kendrick's analysts before the public ever gets to hear it. That is a kind of disadvantage that no artist, no matter how big, no matter how rich, no matter how connected, has ever come back from in this genre. Now, let me get to the part of this conversation that the Drake stans really do not want me to say out loud, because the moment you accept that there is a mole, and the moment you accept that the mole has been active for months, you also have to accept what that says about the locker room. He has spent the last 10 years building an image as the boss everybody wanted to work with, the benefactor, the big brother, the Toronto godfather who took care of everybody around him. And maybe for stretches of that 10-year run, that image was even mostly true. But you do not get to wake up one morning and discover that the person sitting next to you in the writing sessions has been quietly handing your unreleased music to your biggest enemy for half a year unless something fundamental about the locker room has rotted from the inside. Loyalty does not just evaporate. Loyalty gets pushed out the door, slowly, one slide at a time, one broken promise at a time, any passed over promotion at a time, until one day the person you used to trust is sitting across from a PG Lang affiliate, at a quiet table in a quieter city. And the only thing left to negotiate is what the price of betrayal looks like. And the cruelest part of all of this, the part one really want you to sit with, is that the man at the top, last person in that building to figure it out. Everybody else in the OVO orbit, the producers, the engineers, the runners, the affiliates who orbit the brand, they have all been whispering about this for weeks. The phone audit was not a surprise to anyone except Drake himself. The wider creative team has been watching the leaks land, watching the panic escalate, watching the meetings stretch later and later into the night. And the consensus inside that organization, from what I have been told by people who would know, is that the boss has been protecting the wrong people for far too long. The mole is somebody he personally vouched for. The mole is somebody he personally pulled into the inner circle. The mole is somebody Drake personally insulated when other voices inside OVO were raising concerns. And now he has to look at the people around him and decide which one of his own picks is the one selling him out to Kendrick. Meanwhile, on the Kendrick Lamar side of this equation, there's a calm that should genuinely scare you if you're an OVO fan. Kendrick Lamar has not addressed any of this on record. Kendrick has not posted. Kendrick has not subtweeted. Kendrick has not even alluded to it in any of the visual rollouts that have come out of his camp over the last month. And that silence from Kendrick is not accidental. That silence is doctrine. Because Kendrick Lamar, more than maybe any artist in his generation, understands that the loudest move you can make in a war like this is to make no move at all. Let the rumor metastasize. Let the public stitch the timeline together themselves. Let Drake's own paranoia do the demolition work that a Kendrick diss track used to have to do. There's a story I've been chasing for the last 2 weeks, And I want to share part of it with you now because I think it is the missing piece that ties this whole picture together. According to two independent sources, the very first piece of leaked Drake material that ever made its way into the PG Lang orbit was not even a song. It was a strategy document, a timeline, a rollout plan, a piece of paper or screenshot or some kind of internal communication that laid out in detail exactly how OVO was planning to sequence its releases through the next 12 months. That document is, if my sources are right, the foundational text of everything that has happened since. Every diss track Kendrick has dropped, every visual, every quiet little chess move that the Kendrick camp has made over 6 months has been built on a foundation of advanced knowledge that they should never have had. And the person who handed that document over the threshold was somebody Drake trusted with a level of access that, in retrospect, was probably never deserved. Now, I want to address the obvious question because I know it is on your mind, which is why doesn't Drake just fire everybody? Why doesn't Drake just clean house? Why doesn't Drake just dissolve the inner circle, rebuild from scratch, and start over with people he can actually trust? And the answer to that question is the most damning part of this entire story because he cannot afford to. He cannot fire the inner circle because the inner circle is the only thing keeping the ICEMAN rollout from collapsing into outright public chaos. The people who would have to be removed in order to truly secure the operation are the same people he currently needs to actually finish the album, master the album, and ship the album. He is trapped inside his own organization. He has to keep working with the people who might be selling him out because the alternative is admitting publicly that the empire cannot complete a release cycle without leaking. And that, more than any single piece of leaked audio, is what tells you the war is already over. When the king cannot purge the traitors because the traitors are also the labor, the kingdom is no longer a kingdom. It is a hostage situation. And the man at the top of OVO, for all of his commercial dominance, for all of his streaming numbers, for all of his billboard placements, is currently the hostage of his own staff. So, here's what I am calling tonight, and you can hold me to every word of it on camera. Within the next 21 days, somebody inside that OVO building is going to be publicly named, either through a leak, a lawsuit, or a quietly forced resignation that does not stay quiet for very long. Within the next 45 days, that person's identity is going to confirm exactly what I just told you, which is that the mole has been operating with deep access to the inner creative circle for at least 6 months, and possibly longer. And within the next 90 days, his response to this entire situation, the way he handles the public reveal, the way he handles the locker room afterward, the way he handles the inevitable wave of imitator leaks that will follow once the original mole gets exposed, is going to define whether OVO survives the next chapter of this genre, or whether we are watching in real time the slow public collapse of an empire that ran mainstream rap for 15 straight years. And I want to be very clear about one thing before I close this out. None of what I am saying tonight should be read as me celebrating the downfall of an artist. Whether you love Drake, or whether you cannot stand the sound of his voice, he is a generational commercial talent. And what is happening to him right now is the kind of slow public unraveling that ends careers in ways that records and lawsuits never could. But the truth is the truth, and the truth, as best as we can stitch it together from the sources who have been brave enough to talk, is that the OVO empire is being eaten from inside its own walls. And the architect of that meal is somebody who's faced the man at the top of OVO sees every single week. If you have written with me this far into the video, I want you to do one small thing for me in the comments. I do not want to name a person. I do not want to name. I want a role. Tell me what position you think the mole occupies inside that building. Is it a producer? Is it an engineer? Is it an A&R? Is it a manager? Is it a personal assistant? Is it a driver? Is it somebody who handles the file transfers between studios? Drop one word, one role, one job title in the comments because somebody who actually works in that building right now is reading these comments. I promise you that. And the sharpest analysts on this entire platform live in this comment section. So, I already know the right answer is going to show up somewhere in there. The only question is who finds it first. Now, I want to leave you with one final thought before I let you go because this is the part that I genuinely believe is going to age the best out of everything I have said tonight. The era of the untouchable rap empire is over. Drake is the last living example of that model. The model where one artist sits on top of a label, a publishing arm, a touring operation, a clothing brand, a sports affiliation, and a streaming dominance, all stacked into one mega conglomerate. And that empire is now in the crosshairs of Kendrick's quiet, patient, intelligence-driven counterattack. And that model only works as long as the people inside the building believe in the man at the center of it. The moment they stop believing, the moment the loyalty cracks, the moment the locker room starts whispering, the whole structure becomes too heavy to hold up. Kendrick did not just win a rap beef. Kendrick Lamar shifted what the entire genre believes is possible. And once a belief shifts at that scale, the empires that were built on the old belief have a very short shelf life. That is what we are watching right now. Not a leak, not a scandal, not even a beef, a belief. System collapsing in slow motion. And the mole, whoever they are, whatever role they occupy, whatever city they happen to be in tonight while this video is going up, is just the first crack in the wall. There will be others. There are always others. Once the door opens, it does not close. The next person who walks out of that OVO building with a hard drive full of unreleased material is going to do so with the knowledge that the first one got away with it, and the one after that will do the same, and the one after that. Until the only thing left inside the building is the man who used to run it, sitting alone, wondering when exactly the people stopped believing in him. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you, genuinely. You are the reason this channel exists, and you are the reason we get to have conversations on this level that nobody else on this platform is willing to put on camera. Leave a like if any part of this hit you. Subscribe if you are new here. Turn the bell on so the algorithm cannot bury what we do next. And drop that one-word role in the comments. Producer, engineer, A&R, manager, driver. Tell me who you think is sitting inside that building tonight reading these comments, knowing that the wall is about to come down on top of them. I will be back with the next piece of this story the moment a new piece of it surfaces. And trust me, it is going to surface soon. Until then, watch the timeline, watch the rollouts. Watch the way the OVO camp moves over the next 3 weeks, because every single public action from this point forward is going to be a tell.